Let's rewind to the summer of 2021. WayV was flying high. They had just dropped Kickback, a bright, confident album that felt like a victory lap. 2 years of building momentum in the tricky space between K-pop and C-pop were paying off. The members looked relaxed in interviews, their chemistry was natural, and fans were already speculating about the next comeback. It felt sustainable. Then, in August, the floor fell out. Online, on Chinese social media platforms like Weibo, anonymous allegations began to circulate about member Lucas's personal conduct. The post made by accounts claiming to be former romantic partners accused him of emotional manipulation, infidelity, and encouraging fans to buy expensive gifts. The internet exploded. This wasn't just gossip in a niche forum. It was a full-blown scandal, rippling across multiple fan communities. For days, SM Entertainment was silent, and that silence was deafening. Fans were frantically translating posts, dissecting blurred screenshots, and the fandom split into warring factions. Those who believed the accusers and demanded accountability, and those who defended Lucas, calling it a targeted smear campaign. The uncertainty was torture because in idol culture, especially involving the Chinese market where a celebrity's moral character is heavily scrutinized, such allegations aren't just tabloid fodder, they're career-threatening. Finally, SM Entertainment broke their silence, but not with the detailed clarification many wanted. They issued a vague statement acknowledging the situation and said Lucas would halt all his activities. Then Lucas himself posted a handwritten letter. He didn't address the specific allegations point by point, but he apologized for his past behavior, said he was reflecting, and stepped back from all promotions. For many, that apology was confirmation. The rumor mill went into overdrive. Was he leaving? Would WayV disband? Would they continue as six? SM said the group would continue, but offered no roadmap. And just like that, the machine stopped. WayV's momentum, carefully built since 2019, vanished overnight. The scandal presented a unique crisis because of WayV's precarious positioning. They were a Chinese-focused group managed under a Korean system. In China's entertainment landscape, which was simultaneously cracking down on immoral artist behavior and limiting the influence of foreign idol culture, this scandal was a perfect storm. It wasn't just a personal issue for Lucas. It became a liability for the entire group's viability in their primary market. Promotions in China, which were already tricky due to evolving regulations and political tensions, now seemed impossible with this cloud hanging over them. So, the group entered what fans now call the silence, and this wasn't a typical hiatus. This was a deep freeze. For over a year, there were no group comebacks, no tours, barely any official content featuring the 6 remaining members together. SM Entertainment's other groups, NCT 127, NCT Dream, aespa, continued with packed schedules, but WayV simply disappeared from the group landscape. Fans watched as Kun, Ten, Xiaojun, Hendery, and Yang Yang pursued scattered solo activities in China. A live stream here, a solo song cover there. Win Win was increasingly focused on his acting career in China. The unity was fractured. Online, the anxiety was palpable. Is WayV over? Became a constant refrain on social media. Every other NCT unit announcement felt like a salt in the wound. The scandal had metastasized into an existential crisis. This period highlighted a brutal truth of the industry. When a group is built to bridge 2 markets, and that bridge becomes politically and culturally fragile, there is no safety net. A single member's scandal didn't just sideline him. It jeopardized the entire project because the margin for error was already so thin. But here's where WayV's story becomes a case study in navigating perpetual controversy. Just as they processed one scandal, they faced another industry-wide issue: the glaring absence of member Win Win from group promotions. Following Phantom, Win Win remained in China, focused on his thriving acting career. While there was no scandal or controversy around his absence, it was officially for scheduling. It became a constant source of fan debate and frustration. For a group rebuilding after a traumatic hiatus, operating without yet another key member felt like a cruel joke. Netizens and fans speculated endlessly. Was he slowly leaving the group? Was SM neglecting him? Was this a result of the broader tension between Korean agencies and Chinese artists pursuing solo careers in China's lucrative film TV market? Every comeback announcement, On My Youth in late 2023, Give Me That, and Frequency in 2024, came with the caveat as 5 members. The OT6 versus OT5 debate, meaning only 5 members versus only 6 members, became a low-grade civil war within the fandom, distracting from the music and putting the members in an awkward position. They had to constantly express missing Win Win while proving their cohesion as a 5-member unit. A public relations tightrope walk that showed how one controversy can lead to sustained structural challenges. By 2024, with Give Me That and Frequency, the narrative painstakingly shifted from scandal and survival to stability and success. They started winning music show awards, their first ever, breaking breaking their own sales records. The consistency of their releases became their strongest argument against the obituaries written for them in 2021. However, the controversies shaped their legacy. They are now the group that survived the unsurvivable, a major member scandal during peak political frost between their target markets, a 2-year freeze, and member attrition, all while operating in K-pop's most structurally complex system, NCT. Their story is a masterclass in damage containment, fan-base loyalty under stress, and artistic rebranding through authenticity. The release of Eternal White in late 2025 acts as the final punctuation on this chapter. It's an album about freezing time, about memory, about carrying the past into the future. It doesn't erase the scandals or the silence. It acknowledges them as the bedrock of who they are now, a group forged not just in training rooms, but in court of public opinion, in uncertainty, and in the choice to continue together when every outside force suggested it was time to quit. Their greatest controversy wasn't just one event, it was the relentless series of challenges that threatened to dismantle them, and their ultimate, quiet defiance against that fate.